everybody! Since tomorrow is Mother's Day, I want to quickly take an opportunity to publicly declare my love for my mama. There was a while there when we were like, who are you? Who are you? Are we related? We have really worked on us, and I'm happy to say that it has paid off. On last week's Ask Kristen, I asked for your Mother's Day related questions. One big theme that came up was how to celebrate or just get through Mother's Day if you don't like your mom, or if your mom was just a straight up bad mom. Carrie Gall asked, what's the best way to handle Mother's Day when you're estranged from your family and it's painful to remember you don't have a mother worth celebrating? My birth mother abused me enough for me to end up in foster care, and the one woman that was my chosen mom died about a decade ago. The G Feather asked, I know that the focus of Mother's Day is supposed to be moms being amazing and stuff, but for those of us with abusive and or toxic parents, could you throw us a bone? First of all, for people watching who can totally relate to getting real uncomfortable around Mother's Day, you are not alone. Mother's Day is inescapable. It's everywhere. It is the most popular day of the year for people to go to a restaurant. It's similarly as inescapable as the fact that we all have a mom. We all came out of someone. That particular relationship can be very prone to its difficulties. If there's one thing that I have learned from working through painful and sometimes, yes, traumatic past relationships, it's the power of understanding that those relationships and those people, although it might feel like it sometimes, they are not us. And at the end of the day, the one person in this world that I have control over, for the most part, is me. Those past relationships don't have to define us, because they are not all of us, because we are constantly changing and evolving, was one of the most liberating things. Another thing that jumped out to me in some of the psychology pieces I was reading about these fraught maternal relationships, particularly when they are abusive, that kind of abuse that your mother might have inflicted upon you was probably inflicted upon her at some time. I'm not saying that that is an excuse. That might be one way of really helping solidify that in not only your head, but also in here, that it is not your fault. But Kristen, I have to go and actually see my mother, and she is horrible. In those times, that is when it is paramount. Remember that you are not your mother, and your mother is acting out of her own set of issues. At some point, you will get to leave. I know that doesn't make it any easier. There's no quick fix. There's no solution. You can't fix your mom. You know, relationships in general, if they are in any way broken, they take time and work to fix, and it takes all parties being fully committed and invested to that. So with all of this in mind, if you are one of those people who hates Mother's Day and you dread it, particularly because of your relationship with your mom, maybe your Mother's Day present should be thinking about how to give yourself some healing and clarity and release. Maybe you create a new tradition, something that celebrates what you love about yourself, or something that celebrates other family. And I'm not talking about blood relatives necessarily. I'm talking about people who have acted as family in your lives. It's really hard to feel rotten when you're shining a light on somebody else. Or if Mother's Day needs to be your annual Sunday in May when you stay in and watch Mommy Dearest back to back to back and eat Chinese food all day, that's fine too. I'm saying take care of yourself in whatever way you think is healthiest. If you had a rad mom, or even just like an adequate mom, consider giving her an extra hug, because that's not always the case. And for those of you who thought I was gonna talk about hating Mother's Day because you don't wanna have kids and become a mother and you get flack for that, well, I already made a video about that. So after this, you can go watch that. Do you hate Mother's Day because you'd really like to become a mother but can't for whatever reason? I actually haven't made a video about that, and I should. But in the meantime, if you especially have tips for how to get through Mother's Day, how you cope with Mother's Day, if you have a not so motherly relationship with your mom, please share in the comments below. Let's help each other out. As always, ask me your questions so I can give you some answers. And thanks to everybody who watched and commented on last week's Ask Cristen video. Does diversity matter? Bruce Bartup said, diversity, mind expanding, heart swelling, soul deepening, social ice cream, or sorbet, or pie, an adornment, an all-purpose tool, a joy, human oxygen. I never knew that diversity could sound quite so delicious. So thank you.